All right, guys, today we are talking about Bitcoin rewards credit cards. Oh, crypto credit cards. I want to love you so much, but you make it so hard. So specifically, we're going to talk about the Gemini Mastercard and the BlockFi Visa. I'm going to be comparing these two because they're credit cards, which means I'm not going to be talking about the Coinbase debit card or the Fold card or the Crypto.com card. I really want to concentrate on the credit cards because in general, I like to use credit cards. So first off, let's talk about the BlockFi card. So this was the first card that I got it last year. Let's talk about some basic features. So the main thing with the BlockFi card is 1.5% back on everything. So every transaction, 1.5% back. They did have some promotions where I think in the first 90 days, you got up to 3.5% back, up to a limit and all that. I think they've actually done away with that now. So it's basically 1.5% back, except if you spend over $50,000 in a calendar year. Everything after $50,000 is rewarded at 2% back. And actually, as of this video, I got an email from them a couple days ago that they're gonna lower that threshold to $30,000. So basically what that means is it's 1.5% back on everything up to $30,000 of spend in a year, and then everything after 30 will be 2% back. With BlockFi, you can choose multiple cryptocurrencies to be able to get rewards in, obviously Bitcoin, Ether, all the major ones, and it's really the ones that are supported on the BlockFi platform. And in terms of how rewards accrue with BlockFi, they basically accrue as points all throughout the month, and then they get paid out in your chosen cryptocurrency on the second Friday of the next month. So it's a little bit confusing. It's you do all the transactions the month before, and then on the second Friday of the month after, you get paid based on the number of reward points and the price on that day. Another thing that BlockFi is going to be implementing soon is offers. So if you've had other credit cards like with Chase and other major banks, a lot of times they have these offers on their cards where you can add them to the card and get extra money back based on the promotions and places that they have in the list. This actually could really help. Depending on what the offers are going to be and what stores are going to be, could really increase your percentage return back. I think in general, though, it's a positive change. So in terms of my thoughts on this card, so I started using this card last year and I've used it quite a bit. In general, what I would say is number one, the card looks pretty freaking cool. It's not as heavy as most metal cards, but you can tell it's definitely not just a plastic card. It has some metal to it. I like the design, it looks cool. However, I will say this, if you're trying to practice good OPSEC, so operational security, you might not want to be whipping out a card that has a big Bitcoin logo on it, just depending on if you don't want people to know that you're into Bitcoin or have Bitcoin. So I would say that that's a little negative, even though it is a super cool looking card. In terms of durability, even though I do like the card design, you can see that there's scratches and things that have kind of worn over time. And that actually happened pretty soon after I got the card, which is a little disappointing because it looked great when I first got it. The card works great. I've never had an issue with it not being accepted. It arrived quickly. Packaging was really nice. The app experience on BlockFi, in my opinion, is just okay. I know that that's something that they're continuing to work on and improve. When I initially got the card, you couldn't even make a payment on the mobile device, which was kind of annoying. And in general, I would just consider BlockFi's, mobile app experience as just okay. There's a couple other benefits that the card provides, like, getting a rebate on trades on the BlockFi platform. I think the challenge with that is that I don't personally use BlockFi for, buying and trading. But I actually think the biggest issue with this card isn't so much about the card itself. It's with what's happening with BlockFi in the US. So I've used BlockFi for a while. I've used them as a place to get some extra yield on some crypto in the past just to try it out. Now that that's being taken away, if you're a US customer, you basically can't add anything new into your interest account to earn interest on. So in my opinion, it really reduces the overall value of getting the BlockFi card because it really just makes it a card. And if it's just a card, it means it has to compete with all the other cards out there. So I know that BlockFi is working on trying to create a new product that's going to be approved by the SEC and all that. But as of this point, we don't really know where that's at or how long it's going to take. Because when I first got this card, every crypto reward that I got went into my BlockFi interest account and automatically started earning interest as well. And so now that that's been taken away, it just makes the card a little bit less appealing, even though they are making some changes with rewards and features that is trying to make that better. All right, so now let's talk about the Gemini Mastercard. So this card is newer, at least for me. I got it more recently. I will say this is a heavy metal card. It is unbelievable how heavy this is. Yeah, I actually have 3 colors you can choose from. There's black, there's silver, and there's like rose gold or pink or whatever that is. I would say presentation wise, this is actually pretty great. So with the Gemini card, in terms of rewards, you get 3% back on dining purchases. So, restaurants or anything that basically categorizes as dining. And that's up to $6,000 of spend a year. In addition to that, you get 2% back on grocery and then basically 1% back on everything else. So one of the big differences in terms of rewards with the Gemini card compared to the BlockFi card is you get your rewards instantly. And to me, this is actually a pretty big benefit because every time that you swipe, you basically get those rewards instantly. I think there's a couple cases where it had to actually post and settle before I got the rewards, but 99% of the time, I'm getting those rewards as I swipe. Obviously, Gemini allows you to change the cryptocurrency you want back. You can get Bitcoin, Ether, all the ones that they support, basically. It's a larger list than BlockFi. I basically have only used Bitcoin and Ether just to try out what it would take to change it. In terms of the available rewards, you can change your reward basically every day if you want. I don't know why you would do that, but you'll get the different rewards with every swipe. So if you change it and then go to the store and buy something, it'll get you instant rewards with the new crypto that you changed. So in terms of the Gemini app experience, I think it's really good. I already use Gemini as my primary exchange to buy crypto. So I clearly like the way that the experience of the app is. I think it's very easy to understand and use for beginners, which is a big plus. And what I think actually is another big benefit for Gemini is, again, it's not so much about the card, but it's about the Gemini ecosystem. So with Gemini, you still have the ability to earn yield through their Earn program. Now, I will say credit card rewards don't automatically go into the Earn program. They go into your normal kind of balance at Gemini. And then if you want to earn yield on it, you have to put them into the Earn program yourself. So that's kind of a pain, but at least gives you some flexibility. As opposed to BlockFi, at least you still have the opportunity to earn extra yield because Gemini's Earn program hasn't been shut down. The other benefit with Gemini is you get 10 free withdrawals a month, and that's 10 free withdrawals for any cryptocurrency, including Ethereum. With BlockFi, you do still get a free withdrawal each month with things like Bitcoin, but like with Ethereum, they have a minimum gas fee regardless, which is a little annoying because gas fees have actually gone down. But one of the big pluses of Gemini is it's 10 free withdrawals a month, including Ethereum. So in terms of how the card works, I will say I had my very first transaction rejected when I tried to use it. It was before I actually had the card though, so I was just using the card information without actually activating the physical card. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I have seen on Reddit though, there's quite a few people who have claimed that their card hasn't worked for certain merchants or that they've been declined more frequently. I can't speak on that myself because I haven't experienced it. It's worked pretty much flawlessly for me, but I did want to bring that out there because there are quite a few people who mentioned it. And then last thing on this card, it doesn't have a Bitcoin logo, which in my opinion is a plus. It does have Gemini on there though, and if people know what Gemini is or they ask what it is, it's still related to Bitcoin. So I don't know how much it helps OPSEC, but slightly better than a big Bitcoin logo. In terms of operationally, I will say it took me about a month to actually get my card in the mail, even though it was only supposed to be about 2 weeks or so. Something happened with it, it got lost or had to be reprinted, and I didn't get it till about a month after. And the communication from Gemini, in my opinion, wasn't great. I actually had to reach out to them multiple times to kind of get a status of where my card was or when it was coming. And to me, this is kind of a common theme that I've seen with Bitcoin and crypto companies. Operationally, they're just not as mature as companies that have been around for a while. And that's to be expected, right? But when you're talking about your credit cards and things dealing with your actual money and your daily finances, I think it does kind of highlight that these companies need to get better at their operational support if they really want to compete with the non-crypto companies. So at the end of the day, I want to support Bitcoin companies where I can, but I have a threshold of what I'm willing to kind of deal with when you're talking about my daily money. So which one of these cards is the best? So it's going to depend, and I know that's not a popular answer. I'll just tell you my own personal experience. I've pretty much stopped using the BlockFi card. When I see what they release with offers, I may go back to it. After I couldn't get extra yield on my rewards and the Gemini card came out, in my opinion, the Gemini was a better fit for me. We do have a lot of spend related to dining and groceries, so that helps. The instant rewards are a big benefit, as well as the ability to still use Gemini Earn. I like the Gemini ecosystem and I use it pretty much daily. So having a card that was integrated into that was a big plus for me. But I will say, if you have a lot of spend, especially non-category spend that's not dining or grocery, and you tend to spend over $30K a year, the BlockFi card actually will be pretty good in that case because you'll get the 2%. Plus, once they implement offers, you'll probably get quite a bit more than that depending on where you shop. But I think the real question here is not so much what's the best Bitcoin rewards credit card is, should you get a Bitcoin rewards credit card or should you look for a normal credit card that gives you even better reward? And I think this is where it's a little more complicated. Crypto companies competing against themselves is one thing, but competing against people like American Express, I think is something different. In my opinion, they don't really match up yet with the best of the bank credit cards that you can get. So I'll just tell you right now, even though I use my Gemini card and I like it a lot, it's not my primary card. It's my backup card for everything. And I get more cash back from American Express than I do from Gemini. So if I want to buy Bitcoin with that cash, I can. And if I need it for something else, I can use it for something else. But that's what makes it tough. So look, if you know that all you want is to get Bitcoin back or get crypto back, I think that one of these cards can do a great job of doing that for you. If your goal is to maximize your rewards that you get from your everyday spend, then I would probably say a non-Bitcoin rewards card or a non-crypto rewards card is probably your best bet, assuming that you want to deal with all that. Ultimately, for me right now, the answer is yes, and I'm dealing with it with American Express, but I do use the Gemini card as my backup for everything, and it really is a great card, and it's tied into, Gemini's ecosystem, which I really like. Hopefully that helped. You guys have any questions about either of these cards, put them down in the comments below. If you want to see more videos about Bitcoin, click on the videos in the end screen. I'll see you next time. Peace.